The one constant theme the media has used during this entire pandemic, and believe me, they didn't stray far from their normal line of thinking, is that of President Donald Trump being a racist. Now, I'm not here to talk about whether or not the president is a racist, because that's been done to death in the last 3.5 years. But I wanted to make a point and ask a question, and then we'll talk about the answer to that question further. A tactic of most people who fight the losing side of a debate is their willingness to sling mud at their opponent when their argument falls flat. Eventually, their responses devolve to, "Oh yeah, well, you're a racist," or, "Oh yeah, you can't defend that person for how good his ideas are because he's a sexist." First of all, you're way more than welcome to say that, but don't, because you sound like an idiot. Second, and here's my question, why does the debate always have to become an argument? Hey everybody, thanks for joining me once again on MRC-TV. I'm Nick Kangadis. So what do? We've all been in that situation where someone will be talking to a friend or an acquaintance of some sort, and someone will innocently ask the question, "So what do you think about Trump?" Or, "How about this economy, huh?" The result typically ends up being the same, but there are one of two ways the conversation goes after the question. Either the person answering the question immediately flies off the rails into a way more angry than necessary rant, or one of the two people runs out of having an actual argument and begins to talk smack. It kind of reminds me of comedian Bill Burr's take on arguing with women when you're in a serious relationship from his "You people are all the same" stand-up special. If the person is right, they will argue the point. They'll stay on the point, and they'll keep you on point.
No problem with that, totally respect it.
But if they realize they've lost the argument, they'll go rogue and start making accusations or statements that really have nothing to do with the argument.
Now it's not about that, and then that's it. You're in this room now, right?
Sounds a lot like what we're talking about, isn't it? To reference what I was just talking about at the top of this video, just for S's and G's, and I have no idea why I shortened the giggles to G's, but the other day I had a thought, which occasionally happens, so I Googled the term exactly, Trump, COVID, racist. Don't look at me like that, it was a long weekend. Anyway, my thoughts were confirmed as I saw page upon page of results of Google-approved media outlets calling Trump a racist for one reason or another, or calling this country racist for one reason or another, and against almost every race. And it doesn't matter if you were looking in early February or a couple of days ago, there's a Trump COVID racist article ready and waiting for you. It's not like they can really go after him for the economy or jobs, because the numbers were great until bought and paid for politicians, the media, and China drove everyone into a panic. So with the overwhelming majority of the media playing the "What's Trump racist for today" game, again, I'll ask, what do? How do you proceed to try and have a rational conversation with someone when you know their opinion has been shaped and molded to fit the pre-approved media narrative? If you're looking to me for the answer, don't. Really, there's a bunch of factors to take into account. How well you know the person you're talking to, what is their typical knowledge level for the topic you're talking about, and what setting are you in while having the conversation? One thing I'll say for sure is that if you're having the conversation in text only online, forget about trying to preserve civil discourse. You can't tell if someone is joking half the time or legitimately presenting an argument. Plus, it's not a private conversation if it's in a comments section. Other people can interject, and all that does is either stir the pot or add a point of view that doesn't help the dialogue you're having move forward. Even if by some miracle you do preserve some semblance of rational debate, that seems to be the exception, not the rule. One last time, what do? Really, the best thing I can say that you can do for yourself and your own sanity is to be informed by actual facts and extrapolate your opinion based off of those facts. You can never really go wrong with the truth, because even if people attack you for essentially believing in the truth, at the end of the day, you can live with yourself because at least you know better. You can't change everyone. You just can't. No matter how genuine your intentions might be or how noble your cause is, you'll never get 100% of people to get on board with whatever it is that you're saying. That's just human nature. But that's also what you get with freedom. Freedoms a lot of us have taken for granted during these times. We're a generally agreeable people when it comes to helping out the general consensus, even to the point that we've dealt with politicians putting us under a soft form of communism for a couple of months now. My point to all this is what it always is. We have to stop listening to the media who has their own agendas, and we have to reject the media for pushing all of these progressive politicians at us as if they care about our well-being. They don't care. Never have, never will. During this time, we the people have proven, with some exceptions, that we can look out for one another when we have to, when it's in our best interest, and when it's mostly of our own volition. So why do we need these media outlets? Why do we need thousands of politicians and bureaucrats, federal, state, and local? We need to begin to dictate to them, not the other way around. And as I've said many times before, we need to remind them that they work for us. And the media needs to remember that without us, there is no them. I've said before to stop watching all of the media. I've said before to believe the opposite of what the media tells you, but I'm changing my tune. If you like or hate the media, it really makes no difference to them as long as you give them attention. So what do? Stop listening to them. Whether you agree or disagree with them, that's listening. Just stop listening to them. And eventually, they'll either change in order to survive, or they'll simply vanish. What's your take on all this? I'm sure many of you have online or in-person political conversation horror stories, and I understand. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm interested to hear what you have to say, and I do read most comments. If you like this video, don't forget to share it and give it a thumbs up. Those are the best two ways to let us know you want us to keep these videos coming. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so YouTube might let you know when MRC-TV comes out with a new video. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. For MRC-TV, I'm Nick Kangadis.